Hey guys, Mike with McCown Holdings. I want to do a little video. This is a trade I got in. I talked about this morning. It's XELA. It has been a fantastic trade. uh, if you watched the earlier videos, you know I talked about this being a grandbaby trade, and I wanted to show guys. People were always asking me how I determine when to get in an upswing, and I wanted to talk about that real quick. So if you're just using Elliott waves, uh, so we've been on this uptrend. We posted our wave 3 high, wave 4 pullback, and now we're looking for when is our wave 5 going to run. So we're looking for that, and that's the beauty of the Ichimoku Cloud. So this cloud right here is 26 candles in the future based on what's happening. So I wanted to get in this live. Anybody can go back and say this is what it would have done. I want you to see uh, live. So right here, as you see this red cloud, and it's closing. It got shorter and all that. This actually was behind, or actually in front of uh, the cloud. This or the cloud was in front of the actual candles live, right? So what this is telling me is this is a prediction of the future, right? And this is when we're going to start to see our big gap up uh, as it closes or as we move forward in time. So if, and there would have been nothing wrong with once we confirmed, you know, a couple of candles up that truly was our wave 4 low. But we've seen many times as we're watching the downtrend looking for our wave 4, when in time can we count on that? Because we've seen a couple of times like this will come down here, pull up, and then we'll get a new 4 here, and then that'll pull up and that'll pull down. You'll get a new 4 there, and so you wait for that a little bit of confirmation. But what I use for an added level of confirmation is I use a couple of things, and I'm going to show you what those are right now. The one of the first things I use for a good confirmation is is the wave 4 pullback. We're going to use what's called a Fibonacci retrace here. We're going to go to the high of 3, which it's actually here, although that posted the high there. So we're going to line up with that candle, right? We're going to come down to the top of it, and then we're going to come down here to the 0 line. And then we're going to pull this forward, or it doesn't matter which way you go. What we're looking is for that 9140, and I will uh, show you later how to set that up in your own uh, account. But all you do is right click on your Fibonacci extensions, edit properties. You're going to go in there, there'll be a bunch on here. You need 0, 0.9, and 0.14. 1.4 I make red, 90.9 I make green, and that literally is now our green and red. So right here, and on that wave 4 low, you can see we're past the 140 mark. We've blown past it. So that tells me we're not inside that trading range. Back here, we were inside that trading range. So what that means, if we were up here or if we were down in here where we are, that we got some sideways trading to do yet. So it's trading sideways, trading sideways, trading sideways. Uh, so that is an indicator that this possibly isn't our. It may be our 4 low, but we're going to stay low for a while because we're outside of that 90 to 140 range. If we would have pulled back here and we would have been in that 90 140, that's the perfect place for an uptrend to start. So using Ichimoku to verify that. So our Ichimoku says, right here, if you follow the crosshairs, we're coming down. So right here in about noon, we should start to see an uptrend start. So I'm not going to obviously hold this video out an hour to see. I'm going to pause this video right now, and I'm going to wait over the course of the next half hour or 45 minutes and see if Ichimoku actually does predict this price action. So as we move forward, and you guys can't see because I didn't open up to that screen, uh, I also use Market Cipher B as another indicator because of the different moving averages. So I compare the two. Well, Market Cipher B right now is trading, keeps bouncing off that 30% line, which it's telling me, I should open it up too. What that's telling me is we're going to be trading sideways for a little bit, which is what we've done here. We are in fact trading sideways, but we got right here where now we're you can start to see we're starting to grow some green candles, and over the next 5-10 minutes, this is the 5 minute chart where this is the 1 minute chart. But over the next 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to hold this video to about 10 minutes just so we can start to see if it starts to follow that trend. And the first sign right here is we are in fact getting ready to follow it. So we should be an uptrend, which means right here, if you're making a day trade, whoops, I really didn't want to do that. Too many drawing indicators. Back here, I made that way too big. Make that a little bit smaller again. Sorry about that. Sometimes my mouth gets ahead of my fingers. So where we have this target that is intended to land here about the 563 range, right? You'd want to get into this if you're day trading as close to here as you can to catch that run if you didn't get in first thing in the morning. Now, I bought into this morning, actually back in here somewhere. I got in at, hold on, I got into this at 378. So I got in pre-market. It's about 7 o'clock, actually. So yeah, I got in here right probably on that candle, or right in here in this candle, because everything was lined up for it to take the run. So I could actually tell you the exact time if I go look at my trade order status. So I got in at 733.43. So 733. I got back in here a little further. 733. 1, 2, 3. 733. I filled right here at that. Yeah, there 378. So I filled that. Rode this across. It was trading sideways, but everything was lined up, and I did that in the other video. I'm not going to go through how it all lined up. So from that 378, we went up here and hit our 545 high. I did not sell because that's the upswing. Now everybody's going to say, well, you said I always trade the fifth wave. You're right, I do. And this was a little bit speculative for me. I have done so well with trading the fifth wave, I'm beginning to take a little bit higher gambles on the third wave. It had, if we go back here and we look at the post and pre-market, we got above the pivot point last time. We posted our pivot points for today are drawn from yesterday's highs and lows. We started the pre-market, post-market, pre-market. That's what this line is. It's day change. We started the pre-market above And right here, we took that huge jump. That's everybody that was watching this stock kind of got the same idea about 7:30. Yeah, and it's locked in. It's getting ready to run its course. So I jumped in then too. I ran the leg of the third wave. Here's our fourth wave pullback, and now we are looking at our uh, our fifth wave getting ready to take the jump. Now, if you were going to take this on a day trade, you're looking for when is this going to start selling because you want to get in. You want all this indecisiveness out of the way. So we use the cloud and see the cloud starting to show right now. And there we just got our second candle, green candle up. So the cloud, because it's looking at a prediction of what's going to happen in the future, uh, and there's no real way to go back and show this. So what's happened in the past on this is, okay, we come in, we might have dropped under a little bit. We keep bouncing off the cloud, go up, bounce off the cloud, go up. We're above the cloud a little bit. We bounce off the cloud, go up. We're trading above the cloud. We hit the cloud, bounce off of it. We got through it a little bit here in that bear trend, bearish trend. I mean, it was a little bit of a downtrend, but that's all the pre-market. That's when all the day traders are getting there in line, and poof, the day kicked off. Green candles, couple little red ones, and we ran up to that new high of 545. And I'm also trading this based off of the and I showed it again earlier. I'm not going to get back into showing all of it. I have a daily chart that has a daily target via the 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 Elliott Wave software of a target of the 914 range. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this to happen. I've been watching this trade for several weeks now, waiting for this to all line up, and today was the day. So uh, now here we are. We are starting to see some green candles post, and this should go green. Uh, we should, at a time of, and I love, this is why I love making predictions. Okay, so we got a little bit of a high there, little bit of a high there. We're going to stay. We're almost back up, but the cloud's opening up. So somewhere in here, we should be getting real close to our target. So around 2 to 230, we are going to be at a new higher level for this stock, according to the cloud. Now, the cloud's not always right. We do have the blue line and red line coming together. We got a little bit of convergence. That's okay. They should run together for a while, and then the blue line take off. It is predicting the future based on what this stock has done in the past. So if I was getting in this to make a day trade to chase the fifth wave, could you have entered here? Absolutely. Could you have entered at any one of these pullbacks? You sure could. But because I use multiple indicators to decide those choices, I would have waited, and because I am a firm believer in the cloud, right now, I would, okay, so we have this 1 minute candle coming down. That's where everything's going together. But on the 5 minute, right here, we have this 1 minute candle coming down. But see that down arrow? Because we're an uptrend, just because there's a down arrow doesn't mean that's down. It just means the same things that happen when we're at the downside happen at the upside. And that's all those arrows are indicating. You got to be careful believing arrows as they come in any one of these indicators. An arrow means something's going to happen. Now, in this case, they're all accurate, but they don't mean big trend moves. They just mean that's the sign for a reversal. So we had two downs, going to run down. We have a couple of ups, it's going to run up. We had a couple of downs, it's going to run down a little bit. But on the larger time frames, and you have to remember, larger time frames are always boss. Even though in a 1 minute by 1 minute, This is showing that little bit of a downtrend. The overall trend of the 5 minute is showing up. Now there are some people that trade 10, 15 minute time frames in day trading. Uh, you can do that, and it's nothing wrong with confirming with larger time frames what's going to happen. But the 5 minute, 20 day, uh, you can do this. I have this set up at 20 days of history, 5 minutes. So that gives Ichimoku 20 days to go back through and look and see what's going to happen. And those are important time frames. Uh, the longer you go back and give Ichimoku time to see what's going to happen, the better off it gets. Uh, if you count back, like right here, we had the blue line and red line were running together. So if you go back 26 candles from here, or actually go forward 26 candles from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, so you got to remember these 26 candles from right here where this blue line is, the cloud already predicted that. We were right here, and the cloud predicted this was going to happen because this wasn't here yet, remember? Uh, so this cloud is 26 periods ahead. And based on what it did in the past, it knows, or it thinks, it's predicting that we're going to have that convergence there a little bit again, which is getting ready to happen right here, right? And now it's going to show us blue line on top, which if you look real close right here, they're starting to split, and we're about to have an uptrend. So that's how I make my choices on when I'm going to jump in on a trade. So if I was going to day trade this on the fifth wave, I would be getting in right now. So I just wanted to do some live. Like I said, I'm just going to pause this video. I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to hit pause and see what happens over, as we get out into here till about the 1 o'clock range. So I will be back here. I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to go get something to eat. All right, guys, coming back. Just wanted to, real quick, I'm going to add to this video a little bit. So we've moved forward in time a little bit, and you can see we did get our uptrend as Ichimoku predicted. Just because that candle's red doesn't mean it's going to stay red. That's a 5 minute candle, and we're like, well, actually, it should post permanent here directly, but a little bit of pullback is no big deal. You always get, green and red, but we are getting ready to do our big jump according to Ichimoku. So if you actually look at the way it predicted the future, up, 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 and then it traded flat here for a little bit. So you got to remember, candle started here, ended there. This candle started here, ended here. We are in that little flat range here in another 5 minutes, or 15 minutes actually. We're expected to go up in that big jump, so let's see if that happens. We're waiting for the Ichimoku prophecy to fulfill. I just got messaged and asked a question, so I'm going to answer in this one. So each one of these candles takes up a 5 minute time frame, and I want to illustrate that, and we use this large candle here. So if I go the whole way to that line and draw a dot, and I come the whole way over to this line and draw a dot, you see where this line appeared right here. Well, this is this line I just drew. So if I do the same thing at the top of that candle, this is showing you the price action and the time frames accordingly. So basically what you have to understand is this candle represents this period in time from here to here. So if I take that off, you zoom in a little bit more to try and illustrate. Okay, now you can see, and I obviously didn't draw it perfect, but what you're seeing here is this period in time follows this candle. All right. So when you're looking at a smaller time frame, you're seeing the middle of what that candle actually produces. So why I look at two time frames is I'm getting to see in the time frames what's happening in these candles and this one. I'm also getting to see the different pressures uh, of buying and selling in that candle. So anyway, back to our Ichimoku climb. We are, well, I don't know how to make that smaller because my little bar thing's in the way. All right, so back to our purpose of the video. We can see the cloud. We are now moving into the upswing in the cloud, and we have, in fact, climbed as it predicted. It was going to trade sideways, it was going to go up, and it is. We are now going to we're getting into that second climbing stage, and we will. Now you can see in price action before, sometimes we dip above and below the cloud. It's not perfect. It's a prediction. Prediction is just that. So it is definitely climbing. I'm about to run out of batteries on my stupid little earpiece. So while it is climbing, and if you could see Cypher D, Cypher showing plenty of green pressure, this should, in fact, continue to make the climb as the cloud's predicting. Now, could it come down in here into the cloud and bounce off it? It sure could, and it's kind of looking like that's what's going to happen. You can see the breakout strategy, got a blue line down, so we're going to do a little bit of a downtrend pull. That's reality, real time. We got the blue line crossed over coming down here. So, and this blue line's starting to cross over, so it is going to come down. It's going to come down and bounce off the cloud. But I'm still confident that this is going to run. We do have, in fact, have our, our fifth wave that is planning to go up to that 562 in the course of this. You'll be able to come back in the future. Like I said, this is July 13th, and it's currently 12:47 p.m., and we'll get to see where it goes from here. But I wanted to give you an idea how the cloud works that was more realistic. So it's hard to go back on a chart that looks like this and say, well, price action was here, but the cloud was actually here. You can't really see it live. That's why I wanted to do this video out here at the live cloud and show the predictions of what the cloud makes. Because people look here and they say, well, the cloud says it was a downtrend. It predicted it. Yes, it did. But understand, the cloud is 26 periods and ahead of the price. So the cloud is right now wide open and opening still. So as this 5-minute chart plays out, I would expect the cloud to predict end of day price if I follow this trend. And obviously you can't just follow a trend, but if I take the high of what was there and the high of what's currently being predicted, the cloud is probably, unless it takes a drastic turn, predicting today to end up at the 520 mark, which means it's predicting end of the day out here at that 520 mark. So we're going to continue a nice little climb up throughout the day and into after hours trading based on what the cloud predicts. Total prediction. Can't guarantee it's real. Can't guarantee it's going to work. Now, if we just take and we draw some, we got a pennant going here off of, if we draw the wave 4 low to where we're currently at, right there, and wave 3 high to down across where we're currently at, we are getting ready to have a breakout one direction or another. So right about there. So it's going to bounce here, hopefully, and should push back up through. Uh, just because it breaks it a little bit every now and then is not the end of the world. In fact, you can. It's subjective to how you draw these. If we draw based on that candle back there, that might be a little bit more accurate a trend. So it may have needed to come down to that trend line before it can go back up to that one. And that's the reality of trading. You have to draw different things and see which ones it's following more readily. So we had a lower high here. We have a higher low here. So we got a good bull pennant going. That means that's in our favor for an upswing. So what this should do now is it should come down here, bounce off this cloud, and come up, and eventually these come together, and it has to leave one way or the other. So this could easily go this and head up, which that's what we hope it's going to do. It could just as easily go up and come down and push lower, but all of our other indicators are Ichimoku Cloud says that's not going to happen. If you were looking, if you could see the MACD right now and the Cypher B that I have open, well, you can't see it, but it's showing a lot of green buying pressure. That means people are buying and buying and buying. So what we expect this to do now is, because we have, oh, I can't, hold on, I gotta turn that off. What I expect for the day to go based on what the cloud is currently showing us is what we should have happen is what should happen for the rest of the day is we should come down, bounce off this, kind of bounce up, maybe bounce down, bounce up, bounce down, bounce up, and we should get a finish right here about the 520 mark. Is what the rest of the day should handle. Like I said, don't believe people that go back and show you what, yeah, they go on a chart like this and they say, well, yeah, right here was, this was all the indicators we needed. It was going to go up. We had higher highs. And, I mean, depending on how you drew this, if you drew this way back when, this would be a bull pennant right here showing that this stock was going to drop if that's the way they were looking. And again, we're on the 1 minute time frame, so that's very tough to, you can't predict the future off 1 minute. This is just to see what's going on. But that would be a bull pennant if you drew it that way, meaning we were going to go down, and look, we went way up. So we make our predictions off of larger time frames. But be all that as may, and now that I've wasted almost 30 minutes of your day, now we see we are staying, it is respecting this trend line on the 1 minute chart. So that's, we drew that obviously on down here on the 5 minute chart. It is respecting those trends. So we're going to come down off here. We're going to bounce off that. We should head back up. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. This is some of what goes in. If you're going to try and find 5 minute videos to learn to trade, I'm sorry, that's not going to help you, because you can't learn in 5 minutes any one strategy. So I understand my videos are a little bit longer, but I try to show you real world trades in real time and show you what's going on and how it's working. Overall on this trade for the day, because I got in first thing in the morning, right this second, even though you can't see it, I am up $82.80 on. I bought 80 shares at $3.78, so right at $300, $302.40. As these candles are dropping,